Hey, this is Issara with UX in Motion, and I'm going to show you how to start your UI animation GIF on a specific frame in After Effects. Okay, so why are we doing this? Well, let's check it out. If you are on a cool site like Dribbble.com and you're like cruising around, you're checking out cool motion stuff, you'll notice that there's like a poster frame, right? And the reason is they took a animation and they chopped it up and they wherever they wanted that first frame to be, and they put that at the very beginning. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. It's so easy. It just takes a couple seconds to do it. Actually, before we do that, I will say if you are unfamiliar with this topic and you want to learn UI animation with After Effects, you can go to my site, uxinmotion.com. A lot of designers at some top places have used my training, places like Facebook, Airbnb, Microsoft, Uber, Amazon. It's a long list. I won't go into it. I do have a free UI animation fast start course. So if you want to learn this stuff and you haven't done it, you should click that and watch the course because it's free and that's pretty amazing. All right, so let's check this out. What's the logic here? It's so quick. Okay, so here is a past project tutorial that I did. And you can see that there's some stuff going on. You click, plays the thing out. There's a couple things happening. Boom. Okay, so now if I just exported this basically and posted it on Dribbble, what would happen is it would just, the poster frame would be this frame here. That's not what we want. Let's say we want to choose this end frame here. We want that to be the first frame, that lockup, if you will. Okay, so all I have to do is I take my composition and I click and drag it to the new composition icon down here on the, in your project folder. It's this little fella right there. Now that creates a new composition from that old one. It nests it, if you will. Now, if I want to post it for Dribbble, I'll probably want to resize the canvas. So if it's at 1920 by 1080 vertical, we're going to do like 2560, and that'll make it 4 by 3. You can do whatever you want. I'm just assuming you probably will want to do that. So then you have this resized, ready to go, prepped, and now we can export it using whatever method you choose. Now let's just deconstruct this. I did do a couple things here. You can see there's some like, some labels on the timeline. That's not too important. I do want to trim this down though, so because yours might not be trimmed either. So I'm just going to zoom out and trim this down so that it ends about here. Call that good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trim the whole composition. So if you right click or control click on your work area here, you can select trim comp to work area, which is great. And now just your timeline will be in the whole thing. So we've kind of cleaned up the timeline right now for us to work on it. So now I know that I want this end frame here to be the thing. And I might even, if I'm feeling a little spicy, I might just have some cool motion with this finger tap going on. So let's say that's going to be our poster frame. Let's be awesome. So what you do when you find your frame, you select your layer, hit Command-Shift-D, which splits your layer in two. At that point, it puts the next half on top. Doesn't really matter where it goes, but it just splits your layer right there. Now, all you have to do is if you hit Function left arrow and go back to your home. Now, if you hit the left bracket on the keyboard, it slides the whole layer over the endpoint over to your playback head. I'm obsessed with keyboard shortcuts, obviously, but it just makes everything so much faster. Then if you hit O on the keyboard with your layer selected, it moves your playback head to the end. Now, if you click on the next layer below and hit your left bracket again, and that's just to the right of the P on the keyboard, it'll slide the endpoint of the layer to the right. So now we're essentially kind of looping this whole thing. That's the concept here, is we're just kind of restarting where that first frame is. Now, one thing you'll have to do is just offset that bottom layer by 1 frame. So I just hit Command arrow to move my playback head over 1, and I slide that bottom layer over so there's no overlapping frames and you're not losing or cutting off any frames there. Last thing I'll do is I'll just hit Command Function right arrow to go to the end of the timeline and make sure there's like artwork there and it's not just a blank screen, because sometimes if you screw this up, there'll be like a blank frame at the end, which totally sucks. And then you have to re-render. It's annoying, especially if you haven't QC'd this before you post it. So now I've kind of gone through and I'll just play it back and I'll double check and everything is awesome. And now I have officially looped the whole animation, starting at this poster frame right there. That's how it's done. You can do it in a minute or less. Use the keyboard shortcuts, makes you fast. I've got a free download for keyboard shortcuts on my site. I'll include the link in the description so you can check it out and get faster with keyboard shortcuts. I love keyboard shortcuts. I'll also include a link to this blog post if you want to watch that and learn how to put that together as well. Don't forget to hit subscribe to the channel and enable the alert things so you can get new videos when I post them on UI Animation with After Effects. Thanks for watching. My name is Issara with UX in Motion, and I'll see you later.